As you all know by now, TF2 recently got an update, and with said update, we got a new game mode, Versus Saxton Hale, or VSH for short. Now, VSH has a long storied history that we won't get into this video. All you need to know is that it was created in October 2010 by Lizard of Oz, formerly known as Dr. Eggman. It has grown across countless servers and communities, each with different rule sets, until summer of 2023, where after nearly 13 years, VSH has become an official game mode in TF2. Kinda crazy to think about. So, do I think the official VSH game mode can compete with 12 years of community made content? Hell yes. In today's video, I'm going to be giving my opinions on the new VSH, starting with... So, what do I like about VSH? Well, almost everything. I'm kind of surprised about how well balanced everything is. Saxton's abilities are fun and easy to use, and Saxton is overall very fun to play. I think substituting one big ability for 3 smaller abilities is a great balance change for this game mode. For those that don't know, the community version of VSH, Saxton has an ability called Rage. When he uses Rage, all red players in a radius around Saxton are stunned for about 10 seconds. Then, he can go to town on whoever he chooses. Now, unlike how official Saxton's abilities have a timer cooldown, his Rage ability is based on how much damage he takes. This is balanced for groups of people, but not so much for smaller groups of enemies. Instead of having an interesting 1v1 with Saxton, he can just use his Rage ability and win. But, in official VSH, you have somewhat of a chance going toe-to-toe with Saxton. This is not only due to the increased knockback he takes, compared to the community VSH, but all classes have increased knockback on melee weapons. Speaking of additional features on melee weapons, every one of the classes has the ability to wall climb. By hitting any surface with your melee weapon, you can get sent straight up in the air. This is really good for classes without much mobility, like Engineer or Sniper. For the most part, all the classes are balanced, and none of them have an instant win button. Well, except one. So now that I talked about the good, I'd like to talk to you about the stuff I don't really like. Pyro's Air Blast. I feel like it's just way too strong. Being able to send Saxton flying away with little to no downside is a little too strong. I believe that's a little bit more balanced for 1v1s, but when you have some dumb Pyro air blasting you away from large groups of people constantly, then the game becomes how far you can launch Saxton rather than how much damage you can do to him. Not only that, if Red has a sizable sentry nest, the Pyro can just mindlessly air blast whenever he gets close. I just feel like it's a bit too strong. But how would I balance Air Blast? Alright, so here's my idea. After multiple Air Blasts in a row, it slowly gets weaker until it does almost nothing. But after a while, Air Blast will return to normal. I'm thinking about after 4 or 5 Air Blasts, it's no longer effective, and then after about 15 to 20 seconds, the Air Blast will return to normal. Not only does this counter mindless Air Blast spam, but it actually gives the Pyro one of two choices. Either save the Air Blast for their team, or save it for themselves. And maybe have a sort of meter showing the quality of their Air Blast. The other knockback based melee weapons, or weapons for that matter, are balanced in my opinion because they don't fling Saxton as far. Especially with the melee weapons. You have to get up right in Saxton's melee range, which then you can get one shot. I feel like it's more for self-preservation than it is a team survival tool. And that is actually my only gripe with this game mode. Besides some quality of life changes such as turning off teammate projectile collision and adding a public damage counter, that's really about it. Otherwise, it's just nearly perfect. As for maps, we're given 4 arenas to fight Saxton Hale in, which are as follows: Distillery, Skirmish, Tiny Rock, and Nucleus, VSH. All of them are really fun to play on. I won't really be going in depth about them. They all play slightly differently. Some classes are weaker than others, but there's not really a whole lot of difference between the maps. Each one of them has an open center arena and small rooms leading off the open area. Small rooms are great cover for more mobile Saxtons, and the open areas allow Saxton to get really good use of his super jump. They're all relatively balanced for all classes, including Saxton. Everything about this game is fantastic. I really feel like there's some actual care and effort put into it. The voice lines specifically, I really like. While the impressions aren't the greatest, I really like a lot of them, and I think a lot of them are funny. I swear, every time I play, I hear a new voice line from one of the mercs. Everything just has a lot of polish. And, well, there's my thoughts on VSH. Do you agree with me at all? If not, well, let me know. I'm planning on individually talking about how we should play each class. Anyway, I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good one.
Well, would you look at that?